they both did things which they were told not to do.
Yeah.
They were both told not to do things by people above them, and they did the thing that they were not told exactly not to do, and then bam, bam.
It's a love story of three. Funny throuple.
It is a funny
It's
throuple.
an empirical throuple.
You know what? It is a kind of a throuple in a way, isn't it?
Funny throuple.
It is a funny
It's an
throuple.
empirical throuple.
You know what? It is a kind of a throuple in a way, isn't it?
The monster will come for us all.
Revolution is not for the saying. You're right here, and you're ready to fight.
Could you tell me a bit about the dynamics between your characters? Because of course they're on the same side, but they don't always act like it, sort of using each other and really being quite menacing towards each other. What can we expect?
Well, it's a love story, isn't
It's a love story of three. Funny
throuple.
throuple.
It is a funny
It's an
throuple.
empirical throuple.
You know what? It is a kind of a throuple in a way, isn't
We
it?
should have gotten together. Maybe it would have worked.
Well, I think we did get together. It was just in a little bit of a different way than you might have expected. It was sort of like, and you can tell her, and does that, and then all that.
That's the dynamic.
The
Exactly
dynamic,
as
the
it's
dynamic is that the Emperor has energy needs,
But
as
they
we
all,
know.
but they each have a personal thing going. Each of their ambition is very different. So they're all focused on their own ambition and will use each other. I mean, I don't think anyone uses you though. You're the user.
No, but then my time comes.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean.
true.
Like I think it's one of the it's the it's eating that
It
sort
eats
of
us, yeah.
predator kind of circle, as it were.
Yeah.
Chomp, 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 chomp. And I mean that in the genuine animalistic sense, by the way, just so we're clear. Yes, he's the boss.
Yeah.
She's got you're going to do as you're told.
Yeah.
I brought you here for that.
And
That's
then
pretty
I
simple.
have an underling that does the whole thing. Empire, the Empire bites back.
Did you say lover? You said. Or
Underling.
Underling.
Underling,
Lover.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
An underling.
But what a relationship.
Delirious.
It's a spectacular place. We'd never seen anything like this.
But Denise, what a glorious it was just delicious to watch Dedra's downfall.
I know, right?
Throughout this season, it was sort of quite a gradual downfall, leading to the end shot
So good.
of her in that prison.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to that, and how did you feel about where we left her?
I think that it's because of the work that was done in season 1. Everybody knows in that one shot when you see her in that uniform, you know what her future is, and so to see her in the place. I mean, I always think it's like the difference between a tribe and a gang, isn't it? Like the rebellion are like a tribe where there's sort of honor there, but when you're in a gang, that's the Empire, and the gang will just dispense of you. When, like, at the first sign of trouble, the gang just disperses to where they feel most powerful. A tribe gets closer in trouble. So Dedra is like chucked out into Narkina 5 at the end, and I think for the audience, it's really satisfying because she needs a punishment, even though, you want to give some humanity to these people, but I'm not the kind of actor who's like, I have to love my character. I'm like, no, I absolutely don't. I think what she does is absolutely heinous through this season. And so I was delighted that she ends up there.
Yeah.
I love it. And there's no way out. Not one way out, no way out.
Could you just tell me a bit about Mon and Vel's mindsets this season, how far they're kind of now willing to go for the rebellion?
Yeah, I think we've been talking today about how at the beginning of this season we see properly for the first time where these two characters come from and the sort of traditions that they were brought up with. And I think certainly for Vel, she never wants to go back to that. And they are aligned with each other, knowing that there's something better than that. And I know that it's more complex for Mon, but I think it's sort of, it starts there. The audience gets a look at where we come from, where they come from, and reinforces this idea that going in this direction, certainly for Vel, is the way that she should be going and the way that she needs to go.
I would agree with that. I think we have at the beginning of this season, with this big wedding and this cultural celebration, you have an eye into the orthodoxy that they grew up with. And they're clearly two socially conscious women. And I think what's so wonderful about how Tony has written this season is that he allows for these two women who've grown up in this privileged orthodoxy to stray, to move, to drive, to push so far from that in order to fulfill or to step into their ideals. And they are willing to risk their own lives of people around them, to stand up for what they really believe in.
And I think one of the most sort of shining examples of that was obviously Mon's speech. I had to go back and rewatch it a few
spellbinding,
times.
isn't it?
That's a brilliant word for it.
Thank you.
Could you tell me a bit about her mindset and even when you first read that, your reaction to it, what it was like performing that scene?
I have to start off by saying thank you to Tony Gilroy for writing it, because it had existed somewhere else in a Star Wars world, and I was nervous that maybe they wouldn't be able to put it in this, but Tony carved that out. And I think it was so important for Mon Mothma, for that woman, for that character, to have that moment, to see her have to risk it all. And to see her have to risk it all on the basis of the oppression of a civilization, of the Gormans, for that to be the straw, for that to be the final moment where she said, okay, I have to do this now. I'm willing to stand up there. I'm willing to sacrifice my life, myself, put herself in very clear and present danger in order to use her voice, which is her only weapon, for other people, for what she truly believes in. It was everything to me as an actor to have the opportunity to use her voice.
Yeah, it's such a brilliant performance from you. I loved it.
It's stunning, isn't it?
I'm going to jump right in with the ending, if that's all right with you, Tony. It felt quite hopeful, which is lovely, which I didn't expect, sort of leading up into Rogue One, with it being revealed that Vix and Cassian have a child. Why was that important to end on that slightly more hopeful note of legacy?
Well, I wanted to be hopeful.
Yeah.
I mean, I did, really. But it also, it does make it more painful. It's just one more thing he's sacrificing that he doesn't even know. And I also, I wanted to make sure that people understood if there was any doubt why Bix left, because it's a complicated moment when she leaves, and so this makes it clear what was probably going on, but most primarily to be hopeful.
It was beautiful to watch. And Stellan, Luthen is such an interesting character, really enthralling performance from you. What did you think of how his story ends in this season and getting that backstory with Clea was just wonderful.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I thought it was beautiful too. It's in such a small space. It's so beautifully written, and it has all the ingredients. And it's, in a way, I thought we had different discussions about where we were going with that, but I think it is so without cliche and very truthful, and it's brutal.
What were those different discussions that you mentioned? Could you tell me a bit more?
No,
about
we just
those?
talked about different ways.
Backstories over the years. You know, when we started, and I didn't have the backstory fully articulated until we started working on season 2. And then we decided to do this standalone episode, you know. And we also, to be quite honest, we had no idea when we started what a great actor Elizabeth Dulac was going to be, who's just a rock star.
Absolutely brilliant chemistry between the pair of you as well. Tony, that actually leads into another question that I had about if you had any ideas that didn't quite make it in, or any sort of different endings, any other different ways that any of the characters could have gone.
Well, yes, thousands of things. I mean, I make a compost pile. I make a big mess that I start to get organized. So there's all kinds of different things. There are things that were left out because they were indulgent or extravagant or silly. There were things that were changed because we couldn't afford to pay for them or problems came up. And so, yeah, you're always shifting. I mean, nothing specific that I would say, oh God, we missed this thing. I mean, I'm very pleased where we ended up.
A similar sort of poetic downfall, his death at the Gorman massacre, no less. Could you tell me a bit about first reading that and any conversations you had with Tony about that demise?
Yeah, I had a conversation with him after filming season 1, and he had mapped out everything that was going to happen, and Cyril's journey is so, like all these characters in season 2, so huge. They're going through such magnificent leaps and turns, and just as he's on the rise, everything kind of goes wrong. And ultimately he's met with truth about how the world really is and what the Empire really is. And I think maybe right before he dies, who he really is.
Yeah.
After he pours all of his anger and hate and disappointment and confusion into fighting Cassian and the betrayal of Dedra, the betrayal of the Empire. It was so amazing to be a part of that whole sequence. I mean, it's such a... I think it's a massive thing for the Star Wars universe. I think it's a massive thing for TV in general. It's just an incredible couple of episodes there. I felt,
It's
lucky
so
to be a part of
violent
it.
as well.
It's really intense.
Like, I thought when I first watched it, the fight kind of starts and you think, well, that's as far as they'll be able to go.
Yeah.
And then it just ramps up into the two of you, like...
Yeah.
It's really...
It was even more intense. I had to kind of pull it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
and so
fantastic
devastating.
fight.
To be devastated for Cyril, it's just a testament to everybody's work, though, that you can go, oh, God. And I think it's because Kyle can do monologues with his eyes.
But also, as you say, the villains just have so many layers to them. And Ben, it was a delight to see you back. No such downfall for Krennic, not yet.
No. But you know, they both did things which they were told not to do.
Yeah.
They were both told not to do
yeah.
things by people above them, and they
point.
did the thing that they were not told exactly not to do,
So
and then
true.
bam, bam. And you know, under it rebels. It's a joy to be back. But you know, if for people that go on in the journey or have already seen Rogue One, they have an idea of perhaps what happened to Granny. We're not completely sure on that. But yeah, no, it's fantastic to. I mean, I think Andor and this season is spectacular.
Yeah. What did you want to bring to him this time round? Obviously, he's slightly...
The funk.
He's still on the journey.
I just want to bring the funk. You know, I always just want to bring the funk, whatever it is. No, you just want to bring something, I think, that is going to, you know, you respond to what's written down, and just always want an audience to have a good time, or to get the maximum, to get the whole juice that they can. And that often takes different places, and I'm just very fortunate that Star Wars rocks. Krennic's pretty good, and building the Death Star, turns out, is a good career path.
Pretty good job.
Yeah, it is a good career.
Good job.
Yeah, good job. And calcite is
Calcite.
something. Calcite
For
is
a
straight
mineral-
of calcite.
Oh my God.
Calcite alternatives.
Calcite.
Synthetic.
Synthetic calcite.
And you don't want to spend too much time, you know, worrying about this grubby little rock.
He's so menacing. Even getting it now, he's so menacing. And
Should
that
see him
scene,
with a cape.
Yeah.
and that scene with Dedra just.
Yeah. But that's
It's the best.
But that's when you've got someone that you can go, okay, how far can we go? Like,
Yeah,
what's
we
that?
had such a good
You know,
time.
and that's it. You ever watch Deliverance? If you ever happen to watch that again, it's Ned Beatty. It's the guy who's being. That's the one who's allowing that scene to go as far as it does. So it's always the person that is getting whatever that can let the scene go to where it does. That's all props to her.
Yeah, but the thought, I'm sorry, that thought of, I mean, how you just thought that was, I was like, what is, oh my God, it's his finger, this is fucking brilliant, and it's right in the center of my head. It wasn't there, it was like right in the center of her, and I just thought, oh my God, this is gonna be great. Yeah, we had a good day that day. It was really good fun.
Yeah, well, it was an intense day too.
Yeah, because it was long,
It was.
but it was brilliant.
And Faye as well. Some incredibly moving moments from you, but I think most of all, when we see Cinta die. Oh, it was absolutely.
I'm going to start crying.
I know.
I know.
What a beautiful kind of relationship. Quite a low key, but also sort of really strong love between the pair of these characters.
I think what's so sad for Val and Cinta is that we see them reconnect, in that episode, and the possibility of making something together and being realigned and being back together, but also being able to do what they want to do most, which is be part of this rebellion, and then that gets taken away in pretty much the same episode. It's cruel and would arguably make Val kind of go, I'm not doing this anymore. But she doesn't. She keeps going. That was a hard one to film. Really hard for me and V as well, because we're good friends and openly, the first sort of openly queer in live action, and that's a something that we're both very proud of as well, because we're normalising the normal, and it was intense. It's very sad for Val.
Yeah, and as you say, I know it means so much to so many people. It's so incredible to see yourself represented in, as you say, sort of just these normal little ways in the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, just another relationship, that's all.
100%.
But also, it's not lost on me the importance of showing and representing everyone.
Yeah.
And Andor is, a beautiful, gorgeous place to do this, and means the world, I think, to all of us for lots of different reasons.
Yeah, I think that's what Andor does so well, and I think that's why so many people love it. It shows all these different sides to these different characters and very, very human stories. I mean, how important was that to both of you that these characters, they have a life outside the rebellion that they're willing to risk, and to kind of they even, we see Cassian sort of having to give up on a bit of love to fight. What does that side of the story kind of mean to you?
I think that's what Tony's writing, and this season in particular, does so well. You understand what each of these characters is sacrificing. If sacrifice is at the heart of the theme of the opportunity for effective rebellion, if it requires sacrifice, then I think what this piece shows is what each of them are sacrificing. And I think there is such an understanding of our own humanity in that, what it might cost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And how do you feel about where your characters are left? I felt, it was bittersweet. It was slightly more hopeful than I was expecting. I mean, even considering what we go on to see in Rogue One, how did you feel about that ending and where we leave you both?
I don't know. I feel kind of glad that Vel and Mon are together, and they're together in the environment that, for the first time, that they, that's new for them. They've never been in the sort of rebellion environment together. Mon's always there and Vel's over here. So that feels like a sort of a hopeful and beautiful ending. There's also a sadness there for sure. And like you say, as we go on, we know what's gonna,
But I feel like it's what Andor was driving to, what it takes in order to find them all in the one place, to find an organised rebellion. How disparate it begins, and they're all in different places, and in order to be what it becomes in Rogue One, for them to land there together, was meant a lot, I think, for me.
And is this, I mean, you must know how much we've loved Andor. Would you potentially write another Star Wars story? Have you got any in mind that you can
it's been 10 years now that from Rogue through this, so I think maybe I'd like to go back and direct a movie of my own.
I think we can understand that. And Stellan Luthen might be gone in this season, but his presence is so felt throughout it, and even right at the end. What do you think his legacy is for these characters, and how they kind of still feel his presence?
Well, I hope they remember what he did good.
I mean, so much of the show is about the people that laid the road that are forgotten. This is about people that, they're kind of the dirt and the road that there's no path. There's no Yavin without. I mean, just say bring it up at the end. There's no Yavin without Luthen. None of this exists without him. But nobody even knows who he is really, or they hate him, or they had a bad run-in. It's. We wanted to get that idea. I mean, most great revolutions or movements of any sort, the people that are really responsible are by and large left behind.
And he's so layered as well. He's, I think, one of the most complex characters in the show. What was it like for you to bring kind of the more brutal sides to him, the good side? We see that real humanity there with Clea.
It's good that it's in the same episode.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
And that's
No, it's sweet and sour, that episode, isn't it? Yeah, I hadn't thought about that before, but yeah, it is really.
Yeah. It's really good because I mean the brutality is something he has to do. If he doesn't kill him, it will be over. Wow, there won't be any revolutionary movement going on anymore, and the Death Star will take care of everybody. So he did the right thing, but it feels hard.